We've got 75 degrees up to a high. I said a high of around 97 this afternoon. Advisory services offered through Second Half Financial Partners, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. The opinions voiced and information provided in this material are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments are appropriate for you, please consult with a financial advisor. Second Half Financial Partners, LLC does not provide tax or legal advice. Please consult your tax or legal advisor regarding your particular situation. You do that. It's 8:41. Time to check in and see what's happening with your money this morning. And every once in a while, Phillip, Statler, and I are off the air talking about what on heaven's name we're going to talk about this morning. This particular day, there was a lot of choices involved, but we've got most of it figured out. Phillip's on the phone with us now. Phillip, good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Dave. Doing well today. It is the 5th of August, and it's still too hot, but the markets are a little hot yesterday, too.
Yeah, when you first picked up the phone, I said, "How's your whiplash?" We fell by 500 odd points on Friday after the kerfuffle over the jobs report, and then gained 585 yesterday. It was like whiplash. S&P was up by 92, Nasdaq was up by 404. One of my tip sheets said, "It's amazing how fast the market goes through cycles of grief these days, isn't it?"
Yeah, it is. And, the Russell actually outperformed them all on a percentage basis, up 2.1%, like 45, a little over 40, not quite $46. So, it was a great day. Nice bounce back yesterday. Looks like right now we could see, kind of the same. It's just kind of evening out today, but at least it's green ink.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind flat for a little while. I like it when the VIX gets back down around 14 and 14 and a half or so. It's still up around 17 and a quarter. In stark contrast to Friday when it kind of skyrocketed up for about 20 minutes, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It's it's crazy what a weekend will do sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. All the upset over the president firing the Labor Statistics Bureau chief over the weird numbers. I was trying to explain it yesterday and saying, okay, fine, maybe the president was wrong to fire her. That's neither here nor there. But still, I mean, you get to the point of saying, okay, boss, we had a crappy month last month, but, oh, yeah, by the way, 2 months ago was 20% worse than we expected, and last month was 15 or 20% worse too. So I got no good news for you today, boss. I mean, that does kind of put a cramp on the quality of the figures. And really, if I were Jay Powell right now, after going through that Federal Reserve meeting last week, taking all the guff from the administration about not reducing interest rates, and then getting that jobs report that indicates, well, maybe there's a case for doing it now. I'd be kind of hacked off from my vantage point too, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, I mean, people are upset because they think that he fired him because the numbers were low. And that's just not what it was. It was a case of too many times they've had to go back and reissue the numbers with changes. And you can
Exactly.
only do that so many times before you get to the point you can't trust the numbers you're getting. And that, I think, is the president's point, is that the American people need to trust the numbers that come out of the government. And that just seems to be harder and harder to do.
Exactly. That's my point. I can live with a lousy number, but when you start saying, "Oh, by the way, 2 months ago when you thought we had a great month, it was actually a crummy month." Wait a minute. When are we going to be able to take those numbers to the bank? What, 3-4 months later? That's too late. I got to have something I can count on. And the market evidently sat on it for the weekend and said, "Oh, yeah, that might actually make some sense." But if I were Jay Powell and I put up with that Federal Reserve meeting and all the guff that he took afterward from the administration, he's probably sitting and banging his head against the wall at the moment, isn't he?
Well, yeah, because obviously those numbers go into play when they start making their decisions. So, yeah, it is.
Absolutely. Other things going on the political front. We have an opening on the Federal Reserve governorship's position. The president is reportedly working on naming a replacement for Governor Adriana Kugler. I don't think she's got a vote on the FOMC. I can't remember, but he says sometime over the next couple of days. She resigned last week. He's going to announce another candidate. Market would see it as being a try out for the chairman's position with Jerome Powell. I know Treasury Secretary Bissett has said, no way am I interested. So he's kind of starting out with a clean slate as far as candidates are concerned.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, who would really want that job? I mean, I don't blame the secretary. He's probably better off where he is right now in terms of longevity, right? So, yeah, that's where I'd want to be. Yeah, and I'm not sure who determines the voting members. I know it changes every year or
Mm-hmm.
two. Um, and so it will be interesting. I mean, obviously, this the person that's going to be replaced was a Biden appointee, and so now Trump gets an opportunity to appoint one of his people and somebody that thinks more like he does to that position.
Yeah, I've never actually researched the details either as to how the different positions rotate into the open market committee. I think, from what little I've ever read about it, I think it just rotates by seat. So if you're the president of the San Francisco Fed, that position rotates in when it's its turn, and it kind of goes around that way with two
Gotcha.
or three permanent members. So we don't know whether Kugler is going to be on it or not, or whether Kugler is on the board or not, but the replacement is coming soon. Got to talk about American Eagle. President Trump says he really likes Sydney because he found out she's registered as a Republican. That evidently was good for them. Their stock went up like a rocket ship yesterday.
Don't take much sometimes.
I don't think I want to see President Trump in American Eagle jeans. Thank you very much. That's more than I need to see. Needless to say, it's a fairly quiet week as far as government data dump is concerned, but we got a lot of household names reporting, and one of them is a household name that you and I, neither one of us are 100% sure what they do, but they're a big tech stock. How did Palantir do?
Well, Palantir is a defense technology stock, and as much as that tells you, it doesn't tell you a lot of what they actually do. But they had a good quarter. Their revenue for the first time exceeded $1 billion for the quarter. They raised their full year guidance, and so they are taking advantage of it all. They're up today 6.8% this morning.
That's a good start for your day, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Definitely is. Um, I wish we had that on everything else, but one more big up was DuPont,
Mm-hmm.
the chemical maker. They beat by about 6 cents a share. Revenue a little bit ahead of expectations, not by much, but they got a nice bump this morning too, about 5.3%. So that's some good news there. The Duke Utility also reported they did pretty well. Up they came in at $1.25 versus $1.18. They also came in and reaffirmed their full year guidance, which helped them out as well. They're trading up about 1.4%. So I think that's
Gosh,
all my
what a
winners.
shock! What a shock! A regulated utility can actually reissue their guidance.
Yeah, exactly. You would think, right? Who would think?
Yeah.
So let's look on the other side of the coin. We have Yum Brands, KFC, Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, that group. They they missed by 2 cents a share, came in at $1.44. Revenue also missed by a little bit, and so they're trading down almost 1.8% this morning. The him and hers, we've talked about them quite a bit, a telehealth company.
Mm-hmm.
They missed their estimates as well. Let's see if I can see exactly what they missed on the different page here. But they beat by 2 cents a share on earnings, but they missed significantly on revenue. And so they're taking a hit this morning, down almost 10% before the market gets open today.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Telehealth strikes me as being an iffy proposition. I mean, it's the wave of the future, but I'm wondering if some of those companies are in a little bit early.
Well, sometimes, but I mean, they've been around a long time, and they've
Uh-huh.
been and they keep diversifying their portfolio of prescriptions. So I think that's helped
Okay.
them, and then it kind of resorts back. The last one I have for you is Pfizer.
Hmm.
Pfizer reported they had a good quarter on revenue and earnings. I mean, earnings were 20 cents ahead of expectations at 78 cents a share. Revenue better than expected as well. Um, but they are, they've decreased, or well, I'm sorry, they increased their full year guidance a little bit. But here's the deal. I think President Trump has talked about tariffs on pharmaceuticals, and I saw a pretty big number earlier. I can't remember what it was, but it was like 200 something billion dollars, I think, of possible tariffs on pharmaceuticals. And so I think that's weighing down Pfizer earlier this morning. It is up now at 2.5%. So we'll see what happens with the pharmaceutical industry, because I know there's been several things, and I've read several articles that that's still an area that he has not pushed on yet, but there is anticipation that he is going to.
Yeah, I was going to say pharmaceuticals got a couple of different risks. I know President Trump yesterday was talking about how he was going to demand that we get the same kind of prices for pharmaceuticals as Canada and the overseas have, which have been a point of contention for a long time. Plus the fact that somebody that knows more than I do says a large percentage of the pills that we get for over the drugstore counter come out of India, which happens to be one of President Trump's all-time favorite countries right now because they're doing business with Russia as well. So the tariffs could get kind of high on your pills next month. Well, back it up. We had a big recovery yesterday on the market after a Friday tanking. How are we doing 45 minutes before we open this morning?
Dave, right now it's a mixed bag. The Dow is actually slightly in the red. I mean, slightly, like $8, $10 in that neighborhood. The S&P 500 right now is up just a little over a tenth of a percent. The Nasdaq 100 is up a quarter of a percent, and the Russell 2000 is up almost a half a percent this morning as we get ready to open this morning. Something's continued to put pressure on the Dow because it continues to slip. Um, on the other side, we've got silver up about 6/10 of a percent. Gold is down a quarter of a percent, and crude oil is getting hammered this morning, Dave. Down 1.5%. I'm liking the way this is going, but it's at $65.29 a barrel right now.
Something weird happened over the weekend because it was down like 2.5% yesterday morning. And I went, woohoo, I'm going to go out and fill up with gas. Don't know why, but I like the direction it's going. Overseas, we've got a generally green day over on the Asian rim. Almost everybody was up. Mainland Chinese markets were up by between 0.5% and 1% at the close at 6 a.m. this morning. European markets, ditto, were almost green all the way across the board. European indexes between 4 and 0.5%, almost 0.5% up halfway through their trading day. By and large, things are coming up roses overseas. Getting my retirement together takes a little bit more than planting roses, though. It takes an expert pair of eyes. How do I find you to turn my retirement dream into a retirement plan, Phillip?
David, give us a call 863-382-0037 to schedule a core retirement analysis. 30 minutes, you and I on the phone, just making sure that you are on the right track to successfully fulfill your retirement dreams. And then catch us this weekend for the Statler Financial Radio Show, 6 a.m. and noon on Saturday, 10 a.m. Sunday morning on Highlands News Talk, 7:30 a.m. and 95.3 FM.
And with Doug, you'll be here tomorrow morning to fill everybody in, and I'll see you on Friday. Fair enough?
Fair enough, buddy. Have a great day.
Do appreciate it. It's 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services. Phillip Statler.
Hey, folks, again, I want to thank you for joining us today. Have a great day. I look forward to speaking to you again tomorrow. Take care. Bye now.